this client of mine, I'm going to call him John, he came to me with the theme, I want a family. He repeated a few times, I will not be able to do a third term. And that means he's been in prison twice, a total of 15 years for drug dealing, robbery, etc., etc. This was such a heartbreaking meeting for me. It was the first time I thought maybe it's too much for one person to take in a lifetime. But interesting enough, when you look at the family, the parents are still together. They have 2 other children and they don't have any issues. They never had anything close to what he's had. If you look at the grandparents, they seemed to have had and led a quite normal life. And this is not really a common thing. And I was really puzzled because such a violent life. And he told me the first time he was jailed was when he was 16. But he has been expelled from school. He couldn't behave. His mother couldn't deal with him. So she called social services on him. But before, there were a few things going on as well. And he told me he would attract weird people around him. So that got my suspicions. There must be a murder somewhere, because he was showing some schizophrenic behavior. I'm going to say something else. He was displaying a very agitated behavior. And he did tell me he was diagnosed schizophrenic when he was 16. So that leads back to murder in the family. Somebody murdered somebody, or multiple murders, but he didn't know. So that got me back to the war issue. I've been having many clients that are descendants from war, and he was on the side of the survivors of war. His great-grandparents, both of them, were soldiers who escaped alive and unharmed, physically unharmed. And what happens then? To survive a war, you have to fight, and to fight, you will probably kill somebody, especially in that kind of war. So I asked him, can you do some drawings for me? And I'm gonna show you what he did. First, when I was looking for the family, I said, oh, your mother, he did this, mother, and then an arrow in here. Your father, and he did this, an arrow, and he did that. I said, yourself, he did that, John, and the arrow looking down. So this means he is looking at death, people who have died. So I asked him to draw his grandparents. He did. This for the dad, this for grandparent on the mother's side, and this for the grandfather on the father's side. And then he did that. So if you see, the dad are bigger than the grandparents. So the dad circle is much bigger than the grandparents circle, meaning it's overwhelming, bigger than them, bigger than what they can handle. One is looking fixated at the dad is looking at the other, and the other is looking down, just like him, to death. So these two grandparents here are overwhelmed with guilt. They have gone back home alive, but carrying the dead with them inside their souls. And John is the one in the family, the sensitive guy who's trying to show the family that they need to recognize these people who were killed and not simply think, oh, it was war, that's what people did, and it's okay to kill. Yes, it was a war. They had to kill to survive. It's not about judging them in that way, but it is the knowing that the people who died must be looked at, acknowledged, and recognized. Everyone belongs. And the past needs healing. Otherwise, the descendants will become sick.